Hello everyone, and this is Ben Solved. My name is Benjamin. This is my channel. I want to thank you for tuning in. I am making this video because I am a full-time uh, RVer, whatever. And I wanted to give some information that I thought was very important that you had um, prior to making an RV decision, or when you have your RV. These are some of the things that you're going to need. Um, there are a lot of channels out there that give great information about the basic needs of RV living, but they didn't cover some of the things that I want to cover, and that's the reason why I'm mentioning this video. I do want to send a shout out to RV Odd Couple, Keep Your Daydream, and Cheap RV Living. Those were three of the channels that I paid most attention to prior to me owning an RV. I was just doing research and seeing what all I was going to need. And they even gave information, great information about what to do in the winter time, just basic information that you're going to need. So if I were you, I would check out those channels, and let's get back to me. Um, I made this due to the fact that I like to think of being in a trailer or an RV as like being in a submarine, so to speak. And in a submarine, you have to have all your tools and supplies on hand so that you can fix what you need to fix right away while you're out to sea. So, in that concept, you want to have all the tools and supplies that you need as much as possible, and even some extra things. So, I will be mentioning some things that you need to keep on deck, I believe, um, at all times. I'll get later into that. Now, the first thing I think that you're going to need are like 2 or 3 totes. And these totes are for basically your RV equipment, water hoses. You want to keep all of that stuff separate. So you want to keep all your water equipment, like your hoses and your fittings, elbow fittings and fixtures. You want to keep that all in one tote. And then you want to keep like your sealant and your silicones, and just the miscellaneous RV stuff in another tote. And then I keep my cleaners in a separate tote. I don't want to mix my silicone and my water supply, like my water hose. It might still have some water in it, and then the condensation will make the silicone all runny or whatever. So basically, you want to get totes. You have to keep in mind that living in an RV and is completely different than living in a house or an apartment. You're going to want to condense a lot of your things and keep them organized, because you'll be cramming things in certain spaces, and then you'll never be able to find it. So it's best to just put everything in totes, and that way label the totes, and that way you'll be able to find it and access it easy. Another important thing is you're going to need a reversible window fan. Now, yes, the bathroom fan can serve as an something to flush the air out, but it won't do it as fast as a window fan. I have one that is reversible. It can go in or out, and it's a dual fan. I put it at the back of my trailer, and I can open any window and hit it on reverse, and it's going to suck that air right out. When you're cooking and when you're boiling water, or even if you smoke cigarettes, those stains and those smells are going to end up on your walls if you don't get that air out. So it's very important that you get a window fan so that you can flush that humidity or the condensation or even the smells and smoke out of your trailer. You want to get tire monitors, because you want to be able to monitor your tires at all times. So Amazon has quite a few of the wireless tire monitors for no more than 30 or 40 bucks. I will not endorse or mention any product names on my channel, unless some company decides to start paying me for endorsing them. But I will say that Amazon has quite a few varieties of tire monitors. The one I have actually is a solar powered one, and you can plug it in. It has a rechargeable battery. So I basically, and it tells me the temperature of the tire and the PSI. So you always want to keep a monitor on your tires to make sure they're not going flat. Um, for security, I have Wi-Fi cameras. I have two. I have one indoor Wi-Fi camera and an outdoor Wi-Fi camera. And then I also have two home cameras. One is pointed at my door, outside the door, and then one is sitting on top of the TV antenna. And my TV antenna rotates, so basically I can have almost a 360-degree view of my area outside just from inside my house. Now inside the trailer. Now the Wi-Fi cameras are connected to an app on my phone, and they'll alert me anytime that I have someone at the door or there's motion in the area. I also have five solar powered motion detectors, one on each side. The reason is because sometimes in an RV park it can get really dark around your trailer. So I kind of want to be able to see everything and know what surrounds me. Not that I step outside and a deer wants to attack me or something. But I will get more into security measures in another video, but that's just basic security for me. You want to get you 4 or 5 surge protectors and maybe two outdoor surge protectors. Now the reason is because basically all of your outlets except your GCFIs are going to be, no, GFCI, ground fault, whatever. All of your outlets are going to be on one circuit. So if you blow one outlet, you're going to blow them all. So if you get a surge protector, you can stop that from happening. It will pop the surge protector instead of popping the outlet or the circuit breaker. You want to get extra water hoses and an extra sewer line and extension, just in case if, just like me, my water inlet is on the west side of the trailer, but my spigot is on the southeast side of the trailer. So basically, I have to run the hose underneath the trailer at a diagonal angle. And because of that, it kind of stretches the hose out a little bit more. I had to go buy an extra length of hose. So you want to keep that just in case, and especially if you plan on going to different RV lots a lot. You want to keep lumber on you, 4x4s and 2x4s, preferably about maybe 8 a piece. That way you have enough just in case if you are just like me. The backside of the back of my trailer is sort of at the bottom of the hill, so I have quite a bit of lumber in the back versus the front. So you want to keep enough lumber with you so that you will be able to balance your trailer out. You're going to need fans for circulation. Now keep in mind that, like I said before, you're going to have to do some space saving techniques. So I wouldn't suggest buying like a big old chunky box fan. I have it's a 4-foot tall fan. It's a tower fan, blower basically. And it's no more than 11 inches wide, and it oscillates. So it pushes the air all the way around the house. You're going to find out living in a trailer you have hot and cold spots. And that's going to be an issue, pretty much, the hot and cold spots. So you have to figure out where those hot and cold spots are. And, well, that leads into the segue of my next. You're going to need wireless weather stations, at least 2 or 3 of them. So I have one weather station that has 3 different sensors. So I have one sensor outside, I have one in the subfloor, and then I have one in what I consider the cellar. It's an enclosed space that I used insulation, panel insulation outside to box in my trailer underneath so I can have a little warmth down there, coverage from the cold air. And then I have another sensor, one in my bathroom in the subfloor, and then I have one in the bedroom. So I keep there's there's about 5 or 6 different sensors going on around here, just so I can keep the temperature and know what temperature it is in different spots of the of the house. You want to get an air filter, especially if you're in an RV park with gravel roads. In the summertime, that gravel is going to kick up and it's going to go right through your trailer, and you'll get a lot of that dust coming in. So you want to get an air filter to try to filter that air out. I suggest getting you some plants, because plants give off fresh oxygen, and a lot of times we keep our trailers kind of closed up, especially in the wintertime, so that extra bit of oxygen will help you. I would also suggest getting you a really good weather mat at the front door, and outdoor rugs. So you're going to need some outdoor rugs so you don't start tracking in a lot of that gravel, dirt, and dust that you would. Bamboo toilet paper is a good toilet paper to use. It disintegrates very well. I use it in my location, and other people swear by it as well. It really disintegrates very well. Now, in a trailer, you want to keep in mind, especially in a 30 amp, but in a 50 or a 30 amp, if you're a coffee drinker, keep in mind that mainly all large coffee brewers use about 1500 watts of power, which is the same amount of power that a small space heater uses on high. You will blow a circuit, break a circuit in a heartbeat, especially if you are using a space heater and your coffee pot, you're brewing your coffee. So you want to get a coffee pot that has a low wattage. First, my aunt purchased me for a gift. She purchased me the large Keurig, but every time I would have that on brewing, it would pop a circuit. So I had to go out and buy me a smaller Keurig so that it wouldn't happen. And ever since then, it hasn't happened. An outdoor garbage can. Now, I'm pretty for sure your park is going to have a dumpster somewhere, but and it depends on how many people live with you. How many people are at the trailer living at the trailer. So I live by myself, so that means I don't have much garbage. I'm not filling my tank up with fresh water very often, because in the wintertime around here they shut the water off. We'll get into that in another video. But what I'm trying to say is that because I have a larger can outside, I can put my bags in that can, and then I can at least stuff about 4 or 5 bags in that can before I need to take that can to the dumpster. Our dumpster is about a quarter of a mile away going, and then of course back a quarter of a mile. So that's a half a mile, and I don't want to take a half a mile trip just to dump one bag of garbage. So I bought a 50-gallon can, and you have to make sure that you have a tight lid, because rodents will get into, or critters, not just rodents, critters will get into it. Speaking of rodents, you want to get you some bait stations and some really good bait and some glue traps. Don't get the open glue traps, because if you have kids, they might step on them, or you might drop something, and then whatever drops bounces on the glue trap, and then you're pretty much screwed. Well, vegetable oil will get rid of the glue, but that's just a process. Preferably you get the enclosed glue trap so that you don't have to worry about getting glue everywhere. Now, if you are in a park, an RV park, you're probably in a a wooded area or a grassy area, and most likely you're going to have field mice. Now, to combat that, I would suggest plugging every hole you have in your trailer, because a mouse will find its way in. If you can stick your finger through that hole, then it's more likely that the mouse can go through that hole as well. So, there's some foam out that I forget who makes it, but it's a foam, and it's a mouse and a rodent proof foam. I guess they can't shoot through it, or it has a poison, whatever, I don't know, but you can use that. You can use foam and then put steel wool with the foam, but make sure you foam up, plug up all the holes on the outside of your trailer. They're still going to find a way in, I guarantee it. So I have bait inside my subfloor, and in my subfloor in the bathroom. I keep speaking as if they're two separate subfloors. They're not, but but I have access to two different areas that I put the bait along in the subfloor of my trailer. I also have bait stations. I have a total of 6 outside. Yes, 2 on each block of lumber on the outside, and then 2 by the back tires of my trailer. Also, I have a bird feeder outside, which drops a lot of bird seed and corn and seeds like that. That way, the mice, if they want food, they can just go eat that stuff instead of trying to come into my location to look for food. Some of the things that you want to keep on you at all times, I would suggest, are fuses. Get you a box of fuses with different amps. That way, if any fuse blows, you have a chance to just fix it right away. Also, get you, I already talked about the water hoses. You want to get you some extra extension cords. Outdoor cords are very good. You're going to need some outdoor cords. You want to get you an extra sewer fitting just in case if it cracks. And oh yeah, and you want to get you some extra circuit breakers. Excuse me, that's really important just in case you break a circuit and you don't have a chance, or you can't go to Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's right away. You can always have that circuit right on tap with you, and just pop that one bad one out and put the other one back in, and you're good to go. Basically, that's about. Oh, one important thing is you also need to get propane gauges to monitor your propane tanks. Otherwise, you'll be playing guess which propane, how much propane I have, and you really don't want to do that, especially in the wintertime. If you are doing winter RVing, you want to have a total of 3 tanks if you're not going to have a very large tank. I have 2 40-gallon tanks, but if you think about it, you want 3 tanks. And that reason being is because when those 2 tanks go empty, unless you want to just keep running back and forth, one tank, one tank, one tank, whereas you can have 3 tanks. You keep one tank on reserve, so when those 2 tanks are empty, you can go get a fill up for propane. Now, I have a service coming to my house from the area propane, so I have a 120-gallon tank outside right now. So I really don't need propane like that. And if I do, I just call the gas company and they'll come out and put it in there. You might want to look into that. That way you don't have to keep going back and forth, traveling back and forth, especially in snow, to go get propane. One more thing that I do want to mention is that because of the hot and cold spots in your trailer, and if you do get all of the weather stations, you're probably going to want to get a space heater as well. A good one, maybe an infrared space heater with the quartz. I usually keep mine on like a medium instead of high, because high is like 1500 watts. This trailer comes with a electric fireplace, and it pretty much keeps this place warm. The only time I really have to cut my furnace on is when it's below 32 degrees, which right now it's 29 degrees outside, it looks like. So there are a lot of other things that I want to go over. This this video is going to be a continued video because there are some unmentionables that I didn't mention in this video, and this video is already 20 minutes long. So I'm probably going to have a part 2, part 3, and part 4 of unmentionables and intangibles that you're going to need. But for right now, I think this will keep you busy. If you have any questions or you want to know about some of the products that I use, I will let you know in the comment section. But as I said, I don't believe in endorsing a product if they're not going to pay me for it, you know. I mean, that's just the way I think. So, happy RVing. I hope this helps. And if you like what you saw, please hit like. If you didn't like it, please hit dislike and tell me what you didn't like about it so I can change it. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So if someone can acknowledge something they don't like, perhaps I can change it and make this channel better. I will give you a full tour of my trailer, and I will also give you a tour of some of the improvements that I made on my trailer since I've been living here. I have a lot more improvements that I want to make. One thing that I do want to mention is that if you plan on living in your trailer full time, I would suggest that you look into getting tank heaters for your water tanks. That was something that I should have done prior to this trailer leaving the dealership. I should have asked to have my tank heaters installed. Now, I did purchase some from Amazon, and I am planning on installing them, in which I'll make a video about how to do that. Because from what I understand, I have a neighbor that did it himself, and it was fairly easy. So I have all the equipment. I bought the wire, the loom, the tank heater, I have the switches, I have everything ready. So I'm just waiting for maybe the springtime, and I'll get underneath and install them so that I'll be ready for next winter. I have had a little bit of issues with my pipes freezing, but that was mainly because I didn't know what temperature to keep my trailer at when it first got cold. But after that, I'm pretty much it's been easy peasy from this point on. I haven't had any issues. So thank you again for tuning in. As I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to send a shout out to me, and I will get back with you. This is Benjamin signing out.